So this next part, we ended up walking around the building a little bit, and we ended up in Dawn's office. And Dawn sat down in her chair, and almost immediately, Melissa started channeling somebody close to her. And
she actually had she started to have a chest pain. She was she had to get.
And she'll explain
all of that. Yeah, it's amazing. She was like, hold on, whoa.
And so this part was a very emotional. So just a heads up, you might need some tissues to get through this one.
We all were very emotional about this. We stopped recording the video because it just didn't seem.
But the audio kept rolling.
It did.
And this is what happened.
Did he have trouble with his aorta?
Is that part of your heart?
Yeah, yes. The aortic valve. It's sort of like a pop and go. Because it feels very flutter, a little flutter, like ignore it. Then, guess you're not going to ignore it. So kind of sudden. But there was precursors. So he's saying we ignored the precursors. That's fine. It's indigestion. It's okay. It's fine. No. Yeah, that kind of hurts a little bit. You're very important to him. Oh, I don't want to make the people cry.
You made the people cry. You're not supposed to make the clients cry.
It's okay. He's right with you, obviously. If I can feel him, it means he's transitioned, which is good.
Yeah.
He's done it. He's here as a protector. I can feel it. His hands seem dirty. Does he not wash his hands real good, or makes him? He's always dirty.
Dudes, yeah.
I feel grimy. I feel real grimy. But he's that's how it's supposed to be. What do you mean? Of course. What are you talking about? And then, if I got a little cut, whatever, a little duct tape will fix it. Did duct tape fix everything? Is that what we're doing now? Is just smack some duct tape on it. Am I giving off EMF?
You are.
I'm channeling. I really like him though. Very, very amazing. Brent, move.
Oh, sorry.
You looked for somebody as strong and manly and supportive as he was, and you found that. So you were looking for somebody that gave you the same strong values.
It makes me so sad they never met.
He knows them. See, that's the thing with spirits is that, yes, they go to heaven, but then your soul can make choices to come check up and say, hey, how's my family? How are they doing? And, so he's like, oh, good, she picked a good one. I don't have to worry. I'm okay. This is fine. No, he's very well aware of who you have. And, yeah, he actually comes around more than you know. The aisle. So no, he was there. You didn't think he walked you down the aisle. No, he absolutely did. Yeah, he's like, no. Reminder of that. This is important. I was right there. I did too. She didn't see me, but I crashed the party. Yeah, he was absolutely there. What a. He's just such I almost see this big jalopy of a truck or something like that. It's such a beat up piece of crap. But he really loved that kind of thing. A lot of rust. What's with all the rust? I don't know why I see all that. It's an interesting set of imagery that I'm.
He worked around a lot of trucks.
Did he? Oh,
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's neat. He seems like a really neat guy. If he could fix it with something, he would fix it. So, and he, just this big, I see this big giant like rusty truck. It's so jacked up, but it's there. And this like sense of pride. Okay, be proud of what you want to be proud of. That's fine.
So obviously you're picking up on him because he's watching over Don.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Well, we all need a guardian angel, don't we? I mean, and who better than him? We all get a guardian angel. Sometimes we get more than one.
Yeah.
How do you feel, Dawn?
I don't even know how to put it into words.
Do you need a moment?
She needs to absorb.
Yeah.
What was it? Was it validating at least and helpful? Like, you don't want to beat me up now?
Yeah. We haven't gotten kicked out yet.
There's a lot to unpack there. Yeah.
I just, oh my gosh. I used to answer the hotline for the community aid abuse women, and I couldn't leave both lines. Izzy. And he had called me, and I couldn't stay on the phone with him.
Oh, damn.
And then he died.
You were doing your job and you were helping people. You were being the beacon of light that I taught you how to be, is what he's saying. I raised you to take care of things. You were doing what I raised you to do. I should have paid more attention to my own stuff, and I didn't. You don't hold that burden. You don't carry that burden. You let go of that burden because I am here. And he had this sort of quiet demeanor, but like definitely knew his stuff, and like a quiet opinionatedness. It's weird. It's like he would tell you something like, this is how it is, but he would say it in short words.
Yes.
And then you couldn't argue with it because he's right about it.
Yes. Oh, Jesus, this is a lot.
Yeah. That's what happens when you drag a medium into
Yeah.
the studio. This is what happens when
Do you need us to change subjects real quick?
God,
if you want to take a minute to absorb,
I feel so much lighter right here.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's the part that I like. That's the reason I use myself as the instrument, because people get to feel lighter at the end of the day, and he's perfectly okay. There's nothing wrong. He's not mad, so I call it a win. I mean, he loves you. He's not watching you have sex. We're okay. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. We're good.
Oh my God.
We are all A-okay.
Oh, thank you. You're so sweet.
Just a real great big thank you to you guys too for inviting us into this space and letting us be here, because it is sort of a private space, and it is really special to you guys. And what you have done to help our team reach more people in the community, I mean, it's
been
huge.
It's been huge, yeah.
Yeah, Brandon, you're the reason I'm booked up till April.
Yes.
But you know what? It's been a blessing, because there are people, like we've talked about, that are too embarrassed to ask for help, or they didn't know where to go for help, or what was in the community to reach out to. And now they're realizing, now I have permission to receive help. And these are people I can trust in my space and with my energy and with my family. And it truly is a humbling thing. So thank you.
I'm so grateful you guys do this.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that today, and I don't know. I can't find words for how much that meant to me. I really needed that. That's just beautiful, and I'm just so happy that God has blessed you in that way.
Thank you.
Yeah, just thank you so much. I still feel so light. It's like, yeah.
That's what I live for.
No amount of therapy has done that.
Yeah.
So that was amazing.
It's what my soul lives for, is just to share a little bit of that light with other people, because I don't need all the joy and the happiness and light. I like to just give it out, like glitter.
You should
just walk around with glitter. Just like
Yeah, no, it's what you're here for, and so this is this is amazing.
I might have felt his presence there.
Yeah.
So I think that's what made me emotional in that moment.
There's a goddamn light over there that keeps going off and on.
And it never does,
the
right?
orange light between the blue and the red.
Yeah, I know.
It's pissing me off.
I love this. This crap
only
never
one light bulb. At least I only broke one. Feel happy.
So for skeptics, it's easy to say.
It's an easy.
Okay, her dad was at the wedding. Okay, good. Now, Dawn alluded though yesterday to something that maybe made her more even believe, because it would be easy to walk away from that going, okay. I mean, anybody can say dad was at my wedding.
But I know. But I want to make clear for me, like, yes, anyone could say that, but for me, it was a message received because I would have felt him had I been open like I am now and healed from that stuff. So that is what was emotional. So I don't think, because I'm already open to this stuff, you saying that is not far-fetched to me.
Yeah.
Because I do believe our loved ones are there.
Yeah.
I just couldn't feel it then because I was so, where I was.
But for skeptics, it's not groundbreaking.
I know.
It wasn't the only hit. And that's the thing, that was just one message that, it almost felt contrived to have to say it, but he screamed it at me. So I had to repeat. I don't control the dead. They have big mouths, they holler at me. So I had to say what he said, but it was a lot of the other hits and all the other things that I felt from him, that those were, I think, more relevant and obviously not public knowledge. And that's what I think is more special about every reading I give, is those bits of information that you cannot find anywhere. That's and fortunately, if the skeptics wanted that smoking gun during the podcast,
and there it was.
It's like, sorry, it's like this is what it is. It was an overall experience.
So Dawn alluded to the other day a conversation she had with her sister after you guys were here, and it has to do with after you've already discussed the walking down the aisle in her office.
I almost see like this big jalopy of a truck or something like that. It's such like a beat up piece of crap, but he really loved that kind of thing. A lot of rust. What's with all the rust? I don't know why I see all that. It's an interesting set of imagery that I'm.
I mean, he worked around a lot of trucks.
Did he? Oh,
yes.
Okay.
So a big jalopy.
Yeah. So here's the crazy thing. So my dad drove truck. Here, not his whole career, but here and there. And so he was around warehouses and stuff like that. So when you're saying rust and trucks, it's like, okay, that's where it came from. But I felt like when you were talking about it, and there was more to that there, like this was his truck, right? And I'm like, God, in that moment, I'm emotional. And then after the fact, when I can kind of sit there, I'm like, I don't even remember a truck that Dad had himself.
Yeah.
Because when we took family trips, it was always in the, the big car and the windows are rolled up and they're all smoking, right? So I'm like, my oldest sister remembers everything because she did no drugs and did not drink at all ever. Like she always has to be in control, and those things take control away from her. So, this is after you were here, nothing's aired. I haven't talked to anyone about it. Hadn't even talked to my husband yet about it because I'm just processing. So I just text her and I'm like, hey, did Dad have a truck? And she texts right back, oh my God, yes. Yeah. And she sent a photo of the truck, of what it would look. Yeah. Like a photo of a truck. And I'm like, oh my God, like it was an old beat up truck.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was like,
I like those validation moments for me. It makes me kind of happy to get those. And a lot of the stuff I sensed from your father, it felt really palpable. The reason I was able to tap into him is because he started making me feel physical symptoms of right before he died. And that, I don't know that that's public knowledge. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. It seems like it'd be a HIPAA violation to know the exact manner of his death, but I felt it palpably. He showed me, at first I felt like I had reflux, and then it went into this deeper pain and this whole process. I'm not really sure, but for me, that felt so validating.
So I have shared on the air that he, had heart issues and he's had triple bypass surgery. However, when you talked about that feeling of the acid reflux.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, two things here. When it started occurring, like from the very first time of his first, he did ignore those things.
Oh,
okay. So that made sense to me.
Yeah, when I said that he ignored it.
And he also did not take care of, which I know maybe I've talked about as well. However, the way you describe, so they were having, just a day, and he was just going on with the day, and so and ignoring things, and then it was out. Yeah, they get home and done.
Yeah. And that's kind of how the information works for me. It is a flow, and I don't edit what I feel. And so some people might say, oh, well, that's a reach, that's a grab, that's a this and that, whatever. I'm just downloading the information and providing the information. And again, for public figures, it's next to near impossible. But many of our private reading clients, they're having not only that experience, but a lot more detail, because it's a full hour reading I'm usually giving those people. So
I've never shared that he was ignoring those things before he died.
Yeah.
I've shared that he never changed his lifestyle, but before, because my stepmom is the one that, was with him, and they were at a 4th of July party, and he's just ignoring, going about their party, their day. Yeah.
Hello, Veronica.
Hello. I have a question.
Let me see if I can fast track this for you. Basically, what Veronica's trying to say is she has a gift, and she's wondering how to get help to develop it. She's been shunned by her mother, but she sees apparitions, and her mother's trying to hide the fact that she does. So, given that summary, what might you advise to someone?
Again, starting at the very basics of just being grounded and, keeping protected and keeping in that right energy frame, keeping spiritually protected. I think that's really, really important. Start at the base level and then work through it. Finding a spiritual mentor is really, really important. I have found one. Mine happens to be Amy Allen from the Dead Files. It's a show that's on the Travel Channel. She's my favorite, crazy lady that I love. And, I just love her. And she's very gifted, profoundly gifted. And so,
damn lights back on.
See, I'm feeling better. It's fine now.
The little Christmas light.
Amy's amazing.
Yes,
She's such a smart human.
So getting a mentor and learning how to be grounded and spiritually protected, because if you do this work without being protected, you will harm yourself spiritually.
So I want to play one more thing from the podcast, because Brent, you were taught this seemed to be a really profound moment for you. This is when you guys are using the spirit box and you're talking to the corn farmer spirit guy. And we've gone through the whole thing of he's interested in Hank the puppy and all of that.
And he wasn't naked.
And he's not. This guy's not naked, as far as we know. But you feel like the way this moment ends, and we'll describe it for it's only 30 seconds if you can't hear it. You feel like this is validation, I think, is what I was getting from you.
We really appreciate this interaction and want to let you know that, again, you do not attach to the equipment. You do not attach to the investigators, anybody that works here, any of the animals, and you just go enjoy your afterlife. But thank you very much, and you guys have a great night. Thank you.
Bye.
Holy shit!
I
can't believe my pants! What just happened?
So, as Melissa says her final regards to the corn farmer,
that was great.
That one we could all hear. A very audible bye comes in, and that seems to matter to you.
Crazy. Well, it's what we call a Class A response, Rob, and that's huge.
So great.
I'm always complaining. I'm always complaining with our evidence. I'm the skeptic of the group, believe it or not, or at least maybe the most skeptical. And that's a Class A response. I'm always complaining. It's like, that could be anything. People are going to misinterpret that. It's open to, that's not open to anything. The guy said bye.
I was saying goodnight to the energies. I mean, come on.
That's Class A. There's no argument about what's being said there. And that's the kind of evidence that I like to see. It's the kind of evidence that I know this group is capable of getting. And I don't like to settle for anything less. And that's why why it moved me, because it is rare. The Class A, it doesn't happen all the time.
That's your slam dunk moment.
Yeah, that's the mic drop. It's an absolute mic drop.
It's a great.
Yeah, the only thing that anybody can say against that evidence is that it was a coincidence, and I'm sorry, I don't believe in coincidences like that, folks.
On that note, that's a great way to wrap up. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having us.
Continuing to be part of this whole process and taking all of my skepticism and joking. And by the way, you have been designated Casper, and you're slimy.
Yeah,
the emailers decided it, so I just wanted you to know.
If you've seen me after my Tahoe Blue Martini, that makes sense.
Melissa and Brent from S.P.I.R.I.T. Thanks, guys.
Rob, anybody, and Dawn. The Rob, anybody, and Dawn Show.
It's interesting. That's a good question.